Your alternative talk radio contact. The Planet. KGRAradio.com.
With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space.
Welcome to another episode of Into the Fray, hovering over you like a black triangle in a deserted field. Visit the mothership at intothefrayradio.com. There you can find all the episodes, the blog posts, ITF gear, and sign up for the free guest newsletter. The weekly show is, of course, always free and available in all podcatchers, but if you'd like to support the show, and why wouldn't you, go to the website and click Become an Insider, which in turn gets you extra content each and every month. And by the way, if you would be so kind as to leave a rating and review in your listening platform of choice, Cosmic Karma shall be yours. Be part of the discussion by joining the interactive ITF Facebook group. Follow on Twitter at ITF_radio and Instagram. If you have an experience that you'd like to share, email Shannon at intothefrayradio.com. Thanks so much for listening. Now, if you would be so kind, buckle up your safety belts. Put that tray table in the upright position. Liftoff is upon us.
So, you want to talk about the activity here?
Yes, and kind of, like set everybody up with how long you've been there and, who's there with you and what kind of, just however you want to start this out.
Okay. Well, I hope this isn't too much information, but what happened was I had a terrible breakup with my long-term girlfriend a few years back, and it was a situation that I needed to get out of there and get out of there quickly. She completely broke my heart and devastated me to beyond. I don't know how to word it, but I was incredibly hurt and distraught and stressed and just a wreck. And my older sister came to pick me up, and we're taking you to Mom's house. You're gonna go to Mom's house. You guys can't be near each other, or you're gonna fight. It's pointless. You just need to get out of there, get out of here. And I agreed, and I grabbed a couple things. I looked at Yoda. You're mine. You're coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
We got in her. That wasn't going to be up for debate at all. We got into my sister's truck. We drove from Gaithersburg, Maryland, to New Carrollton, Maryland, and then my other sister ended up coming over to. Everyone's worried about me now, and they're trying to console me and be good sisters, and what can we do for you? We're so sorry, as well as my mom. But because it was such a sudden situation that really just happened, there was no warning. There wasn't like, we're going to split up. We're going to end our relationship. Let me go look for an apartment. Give me time to, it wasn't,
mm-hmm.
There was none of that. It was like, it's over. And now when I look back, that it was even though it was very rushed and abrupt, it was for the best because,
right.
I couldn't even look at this girl. I mean, she was the love of my life. She was. And, I mean, we were together for over 15 years. We grew up together. We grew up together.
There's just there's no pain like that, right?
No, there's not. Yeah, so like I said, I come here, everybody's being, wonderful, and, we're talking, and, it gets a little late, and, my mom had already set up the one of the spare bedrooms for me, God bless her, but, I didn't feel like, I wanted to be in there alone, even though I had Yoda with me. So, even though I'm an adult, I asked my mom if I could sleep in her room because she has a huge room and a huge bed that could fit more than 2 people and a dog. And she said, honey, you sleep wherever you want. And I was like, okay. So, because we had been up talking and going through, all the emotions and crying and all that stuff, my mom fell asleep pretty quickly. Me, on the other hand, I was wide awake because I'm too upset to go to sleep. I'm crying still. I'm hugging the hell out of Yoda, like, why? Why? Just devastated, and just broken. And it was, I want to say it was a little after 2 a.m. I'm sitting on my mom's bed. I've got Yoda there. And all of a sudden, I hear someone upstairs. I hear somebody walking from one end of the ceiling to the other, very, very heavy footsteps, several times. I'm looking up thinking, what the hell is this? What is up there? Because prior to this night, I had only been to this home twice before. And I never experienced anything the 2 times I was here. And didn't know that anything was going on here. Now I know better, but I didn't know then. So I'm at that time I'm thinking, am I like in such a bad way that did I just imagine that? Am I having a nervous breakdown? Is that what's happening here? And then it started up again, and Yoda was looking up, like trying to figure something out, and I looked at him, and then I realized, well, maybe I'm going crazy, but my dog's not going crazy. Mm-hmm. So, okay, they always say, listen to your dogs.
Right.
Listen to your dogs. So I ended up staying up the entire night, 1, because of the breakup, and 2, because of what I heard. The next morning, we're all up pretty early. Sisters came back over to see how I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. We kind of, all sat down to have breakfast together, that kind of thing. Everybody's, oh, poor Giena. I, as soon as I saw my mom, I said, Mom, what is upstairs? And she said, nothing. I said, no, but there has to be something up there. And she said, oh, well, the attic. And I said, okay, what's in the attic? She said, oh, well, typical stuff, Christmas decorations, old suitcases, artwork, just a bunch of different things. And I said, is it because I'd never been up in the attic. So I asked her, is it one that you can, stand, the kind that you can stand up fully and walk through? Or is it the type that you have to crawl through? Or is it the type that you have to kneel down? Or like, what's the deal there? And she said, oh, well, you have to kind of duck here and there, but if you get to the middle part, you can stand up. But there's a lot of stuff up there, honey. Don't worry about it. And I said, Mom, I heard footsteps last night. Very heavy footsteps from one side of the room to the other. Like, it reminded me of the back in the day when I used to have an apartment with someone, and we had, a lady that lived on top of us. Our lady and a little kid that lived on top of us. And you could always hear them.
Yeah.
It was very much like that. And my mom was like, oh, this is what she said. Don't worry about it. It's our relative. And I was like, what?
Just right out of the gate, huh?
Yeah, right out of I was like, what are you saying, Mom? And she's like, yeah, they've been here since they're always here. I'm like, whoa, what is going on? And then my other my sisters then chime into all this. Oh, yeah, we've often had experiences there.
Oh
I've seen this. I've seen this. I've smelled this. My husband's seen this. My
Oh my
brother-in-law
God!
saw
Why
this.
had you never heard about any of this from them?
I don't know. I do not know, Shannon, and I still don't even know to this day why no one said anything to me.
Wow.
I don't know. But, so this conversation was going on, and I'm just thinking, this is crazy. I can't deal with this and a breakup, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have the financial means to go elsewhere. I just lost half of my income, so to speak. Yeah, it was just nuts, and don't worry about it. You'll just hear noises from time to time. You might smell a cigar, or you might smell smoke. I'm like, oh Jesus, oh my God, okay. So because at that moment my only experience was what I heard that first night, I thought, okay, they're telling me that it happens here and there, not a big deal. Mom says it's our relatives, don't worry about it, kind of thing. And okay, Giena, don't worry about it. You got enough going on right now. You don't need this bullshit too. All you can do right now is take care of you and your dog. That's your responsibility, that dog and yourself. So that's how I kind of went about it. And as time progressed, and if maybe 2-3 weeks went by, man, this shit just went nuts in here. Again, late at night, I'm downstairs in my bedroom. I've got Yoda with me, of course, he's my bed buddy. And this boom, 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 just coming from the wall directly behind me, right behind my my pillows. Boom, boom, boom. And this noise, like, I don't even know how to describe it, almost like somebody running their nails on down a chalkboard,
God.
but on the other side of the wall.
No, what? So what technically was on the other side of that wall in your bedroom?
Just outside, just the brick wall to the drywalling to the brick wall, and whatever they put in between, and then outside. First floor outside.
So really, because if someone is outside banging on a brick, it's a very flat sound. Like you're not gonna. I don't think it would sound like that, right?
Right. Yeah. If you had someone outside, Freddy Krueger himself could be outside with the claw.
Yeah.
Trying to do that, and there's no way it would sound.
Oh yeah. The nail thing, they would just break their nails, but like the banging thing, true. It's like. Yeah. That would just, you hit brick, it's like slap, slap, slap. It's not going to sound like much, I don't think, if you were inside the house. Right. So if you were you're thinking it's banging, that's so creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy, and I thought when that happened, when that went down, I was like, well, it sounds like whatever this is now is in between the wall, or it's it's closer to my side. It's not someone outside. Not split outside. Yeah, and from that time period on, like I mentioned to you earlier, then it's just been a series of all kinds of noises, having dinner and something grabbed my leg underneath the table.
Oh my God.
I have felt it being pushed over in the laundry room.
Now, you said that was recently, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's talk about that. Where is the laundry room?
Okay. Down the hall from my bedroom.
Okay.
Down the hall from my bedroom. And I had gone in to I was looking for a bag of some toys that I had for Yoda, and doing a couple of things in there, and I was minding my own business, and very suddenly there was almost a temperature change. Like I kind of got the chills. Mm-hmm. And that's not normal for me. That's not typical for me. It was strange. And then I felt not so much hands on me but I felt a definite push. There you go. And I just kind of fell over, and I was able to catch myself, but I could feel the push or the shove. I could feel that. There have been other times where I could feel like how fingers feel on the back of your neck.
Wow.
I have heard voices. I have been at the kitchen sink washing my dinner dishes and had a presence come right up behind me, to me, it felt like a male presence. I'm not sure why. It just felt like it was male. It was there, like almost like just like someone would come up behind you and give you a big hug. It felt like that, but it wasn't pleasant in any way. And it scared the hell out of me. And I mean, thank God it was just for a few seconds. And then I heard the voice, and it was a male voice. It said, now. The word was now. I almost fainted. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the worst.
Now, are you sharing all this stuff with your mom then, all of these occurrences, and she still thinks it's your relative?
Yes. Yeah. And we've had that argument many a time, because I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Now, are you having more experiences than she does?
Yes. Unless she's not been honest with me or truthful.
Right.
But to the best of my knowledge, it's this thing is focused in on Yoda and I. It's definitely, the message is clear. We don't like you. We don't like you or your dog, and we really rather you not be here. That's the message.
So, Giena, if you don't mind, just so I can get a clear picture of the home. So this is a 2-story home then with an attic?
Yes.
Okay. Always in the basement or the attic. These things just love to just act like, well, this is where I live. It's creepy. So I'll come out at night to other points in the place, but...
Yeah.
So these
and then I'll duck away in the other scary areas.
Right. Yeah. It's just... Yeah. Like the idea of it being a relative, and coming up behind you in a very almost threatening manner, it just doesn't really seem to fit very well.
No, it doesn't. Now, maybe my relatives do come around from time to time. I have not felt them. I have not seen them. I've not had that experience here. Yeah, this spirit, this being, it likes to joke a little, like it is a little bit of a prankster. Like things will go missing. That I know, I had this, whatever the item, I left it here. I know for a fact I left it here because I'm so anal about things. And then the next day it's not there. And then 2 months later it shows up under the bed.
Oh, boy.
Or completely, like a place you would have never looked. And you didn't put it there.
Right.
Things like that. I can hear I've heard the kitchen cabinets open. I have found kitchen cabinets open. I have found the refrigerator open. Up and down the steps. I have been pushed off the second step.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a while back, but that happened, almost like the same shove that happened in the laundry room, just out of the blue. There you go.
Do you feel the fingers during those times? For the pushes?
I don't think, no, for the 2 shoves, no, I didn't. But I have felt fingers. I have felt them. Like a cold, like fingers, exactly what, yeah, just like that, but cold, but very cold. Sometimes there'll be a little flux in the environment with, like, let's say the air, the temperature. Other times, not at all. Sometimes I can sense it before something happens. Other times, not at all. Sometimes it's a couple of minutes of craziness. Other times, 20 seconds. A couple times a week, nothing the next week. Once the following week, nothing the next week. It is just something else. It really is something else. At one point, I was getting really fed up with the activity here, and what I did was, and I don't know if this was smart or not, but what I did, I actually went up into the attic, I sat down, and I had a conversation with whatever the hell this is. I had a conversation. I said, and the gist of that conversation was, please leave me and my dog alone. If you need to be here for whatever reason, you can be here. But if you're going to stay here, then you need to leave us alone. You don't bother us, we won't bother you. And that was basically it. I came back downstairs. I remember being really, really scared because I didn't know if that was going to make things worse. But then it turns out, to my surprise, things got very quiet for a long, long time. There was nothing at all.
Is that the longest break that it's taken?
Yes, the longest break. And I remember thinking, okay, Giena, you did good. You did good. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for you. Yeah.
How long was that period? I'm sorry, how long did that last?
It was, I'm going to say a little shy of a year.
Okay. That was a good break then.
Yeah. I mean, any little bit is a good break. But, yeah, that was the longest stretch in between. And then, unfortunately, things started happening again. So, I don't know why, but yes.
So, when you say you've heard voices, it's always, you think that it's just one entity. It's always a male presence, a male voice.
Yes to that question when I hear a voice, but what's really interesting is a lot of times when you hear the footsteps, it sounds like several people. Not always, but many times it sounds like several people. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, like, you know, if you had like 2 or 3 really big guys wearing the heaviest boots ever made, and they're stomping around in your attic. That's what it sounds like.
Wow. So no, like, oh, it's a light pitter patter like a child, or it's always the same, like a bunch of guys occasionally, huh?
Yeah, very, very heavy, and you know, like, you're gonna hear me. You're definitely gonna hear me. You want to crank up the TV or the radio? We don't care. You're gonna hear this. Yeah. So because I know, because you know, sometimes I used to cope in that way. I would just crank the TV, like, just ignore it, it'll stop, just ignore it. Oh no, you could still, they would get louder. They would get louder. And the weirdest thing is, though, about the attic, and the way that it's designed and is, you couldn't walk, 3 men could not be in that attic at the same time and walk around in that manner. There is no way to physically do that, but somehow, some way, these spirits do it.
That makes it a lot creepier.
Yeah.
So is your mom around at all when it's like kind of a bigger event like that? Like, has she ever seen you get pushed, or has she ever heard a voice in her ear? Or has she ever been shoved even slightly to where she could write it off, or hearing these heavy footsteps?
She had, as far as witnessed, like, at the same time as I, not so much that, but more like, oh, do you smell that? What is that? Oh, what do you smell? I'd be like, a cigar? Yeah, I smell that too. Like, she could pick up on things like that. But anything beyond that, she doesn't discuss with me.
So how long has she been in the home?
She bought the home, I think it was 15 years ago.
Okay. And it's just been her in the home until you guys got there, you and Yoda.
Yes.
And then the sisters would come and visit or whatever. So what kind of stuff has your siblings gone through in the home?
Nothing extreme like me. More scents, bizarre, you know, perfume or cigars, cigarettes. Seeing movement out of the corner of, you know, the eye. Very quick movement, that kind of stuff. But nothing as personal as what I have experienced here. Where you know, you can feel hands on you. Nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, nothing on this level.
You definitely seem singled out. Sorry, what was that?
Yes. No, I was going to say maybe if they were around more often, maybe it would escalate to something else. I don't know, but
because they just come to visit and they leave, right?
Right. Yeah. So what, you know, this let's just say this spirit must know that, and maybe that's why they don't mess with them the way that they mess with me, is what I'm thinking. But I don't know what I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it started so soon for you. I mean, it started that very first night, and I wonder if it, I don't know, if it felt you were weak, and because that was a very weak moment for you, a weak time for you. You were heartbroken and you're crying, and you know, you need consoling from your family, and I just wonder if it just painted you as a target of some sort.
So Yeah, if you were going to take advantage of someone, I mean, I
Right.
was in the worst way possible.
Right.
If you were going to strike, that would have been the key time to do that.
That's why it's so sad to think that that was a relative, right? Because it's like torturing you in a way. It's just harassing you.
Right. Yes. Yes. It is. It's harassment. Is exactly what it is. Harassment with a capital H. It is harassment. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. So, and my great grandmother, I mean, she was barely 5 feet tall and 100 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
And even if she bought boots, she could never make.
Granny's up there stomping around again. You know, you're like, I don't think so.
Yeah, she could never replicate that sound.
Right. That's about the size of my grandma. I'm like thinking of her trying to do that, and you're like, no, I don't think so. So these things that you say have gone missing, what types of things are these that have gone missing and then showed back up in various strange places?
My wallet, my reading glasses, different items that belong to Yoda, some clothing, this little flashlight that I had, my night vision goggles.
Oh, you better not steal the NVGs. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yes. Talk about turning the house upside down.
Yeah.
Just different things. Even ridiculous things like I have a pair of scissors that are this beautiful blue that I love. Those went missing. I mean, and it's always stuff that you're like, I know it was just here. It was just here. And even if it fell off this counter, how then, you find it 3 months later, how the hell could it have ended up there? Even Yoda couldn't pick it up and take it there.
Right.
You know, where you find these things. Yeah.
See, and it's taken things for the most part that you and Yoda are going to miss. Reading glasses, a wallet. I mean, the scissor thing, I totally get because when I can't find a pair of scissors, I'm like, one of you guys better figure out where you put it because I'm going to go nuts trying to find this. I use those. I need those right damn now, right? Like, it drives you nuts.
Yeah.
So I was really going for the jugular with that stuff. And the NVGs too, I'd be like, oh, buddy, no.
Yeah, I mean, almost like they're kind of just sitting back and, observing me all day and like, oh, that would definitely bother her. Let's take that. She must need that. Let's take that. I mean,
it does sound like it has a problem with the dog as well. So let's talk a little bit about what Yoda's gone through and how he's been reacting to some of this stuff.
That's simple. Yoda, I wish he could speak, but he doesn't. But based on body language and as well as I know him and everything else, he has definitely 100% been scared out of his mind. A lot of quick, like looking around, following something with his head, looking, trying to get in front of me to protect me, growling into nothingness, or, I can't see it, but he obviously can. I can tell he's looking at something, many, many times like that. Many, many times. Hiding under the dining room table in fear, his tail between his legs, growling, but in fear at the same time, and, fearful at the same time, and a lot of watching. He does a lot of watching, and usually when he starts that, and I have not picked up on it, something then will happen, like that he knows before I know.
So that's pretty freaky to me, is that he has before stood in front of you as in an effort to protect you, basically, from something that you couldn't even see. Yes.
And I can tell you that the only other time, now remember, I've had him 9 years now, and the only other time that he has done that, and it was only one at a time, was when Stacy and I were fighting the day before I left our home. He got in between us and sat on my feet and started growling at her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what he's done here.
Mm.
So, it is really, I lack the words, but, it's too much. It's just too much. It can be too much.
Have you ever seen, like, out of the corner of your eye, like, flashes of shadows where you thought,
Yeah. Not too long ago, as a matter of fact, I, was just walking from the kitchen to downstairs. I just happened to look up the flight of steps, and I could see a dark figure. It looked to be the shape of a man, just dark shape of a man. I looked back very quickly because, like, you know, oh my God, what was that? I looked back and gone.
Yeah.
Gone. 100% gone. And then I didn't want to look back up the stairs for the rest of the night, and I didn't.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So your room is downstairs, and your mom sleeps upstairs, right?
Yeah, I'm downstairs, and she's upstairs.
So you probably don't really, I mean, if you don't have to go up there, you probably don't. I mean, do you feel like it's more negative upstairs, or now you've had experiences and all over the house, so it doesn't matter?
I have had all the experiences in most parts of this home now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But there are days where I get a feeling like you don't need to be upstairs. And even if you need to be upstairs, you're not going upstairs. It's that kind of feeling. Yeah.
Do you think that's like literally like because it's just in proximity to the attic, or there's maybe actually something? I mean, you did get pushed on one of the steps, so I mean, it may not even take you that far, right, before you hit trouble.
Right, exactly. It's just like an inner voice, just you know, telling me you don't really need to be up there today. So.
I just think of Yoda like just sitting there, you know, staring at a wall or staring out a door. Something that we touched on in the beginning that I wanted to swing back to make sure it got in for folks was you said that you were in your bedroom and then Yoda was like looking out the bedroom door, right?
Yes, he was very intently looking out the bedroom door as if something was in the hallway and growling and hair his entire stripe was straight up and looking out like thumbs up, and you know, I have to believe what my dog is telling me.
Yeah, see, the animals aren't like us. Like they don't take theater class and drama, and you know, it's right. So he's seeing something. Yeah. So your bedroom door, you sleep with it open. You were actually in bed when that happened.
I was in bed when that happened, and yes, I do leave the door open. You know, a door makes no difference, so I leave it open. Yeah.
I mean, and you hear this a lot, and I think that I just heard Ian and Brennan on the Ghost Story Guys mention this, but even after a tense situation, even if you saw something crazy, it's so stressful and you're terrified and petrified, and then you just end up going to sleep. And it happens all the time, you know? So I was just wondering, after seeing Yoda do that, are you kind of like, well, and I know that you're kind of, I hate to say it, but, you know, quote unquote, used to it at this point in a way. Do you just go to sleep, or are you kind of like, well, let me get up and see if, you know, whatever?
When it happened this morning, I was not able to go back to sleep right away. I just couldn't. But I tried to watch. What did I put on? I don't know if it was Something in the Woods or Exist, or I don't know. I was trying to watch something, and you know, and then my eyes got heavy, and then I eventually fell asleep. But I have at times not been able to go to sleep at all, and as that morning sun is coming up, you know, as daybreak is upon me, I'm still completely wide awake and fearful. Where there are other times where I can kind of just, not dealing with it right now. If it's gonna fuck with me, it's gonna fuck with me. So let me try and get to some sleep, and that kind of thing. So. I
mean, your mom, though, she doesn't really lose sleep over it. I mean, she does say she hears the footsteps, but it's like not a big deal.
Yeah, it's our relatives. So yeah.
Well, they're a cruel relative, if that's a relative. They're not very nice.
Yeah, I know. What did that sound like? Gosh, that's terrible. How does that make us sound as a family? That's terrible.
I love you that you put on Exist to like try to chill out and go to sleep and just take your mind off of it. That sounds like something I would do. I'm like, I'm going to watch The Shining because I just need to chill out and calm down. I love you.
Yeah.
That's great.
People would be like, why would you watch something like that?
I totally get that. Usually if the TV's on, it's something like creepy and weird. And, you know, like I have it in my DVR, and sometimes I'll just, I'll turn it on just for background noise because I just like to have that stuff on. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I do the same.
High five.
So we're not crazy.
No.
We're not crazy.
We're our own kind of special crazy if we're crazy. I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it. No, that's awesome. I just picked up on that. I was like, that's cool. She just said she's like trying to forget the scary stuff out here. So she's going to put something that other people might consider scary on the TV to calm down. I like that.
Right.
I like that. Okay. I'm going through my notes here. As far as the cabinets opening, you've heard that, and the fridge. Have you ever come in and it's the poltergeist situation where like all the cabinet doors are just open and then... I mean, have there been situations when your mom's like cannot deny that something really truly up is going on?
I would say yes, but I just get the same.
It's always us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I really get.
I mean, have they done? Well, I say they because you mentioned the multiple footsteps, but who knows? It could just be one, and they just messing with you somehow with the multiple. Anyway. I don't know how this stuff works, but has that ever happened where you walk in and like all the cabinet doors are open, fridge is open, like where it's very blatant?
Yeah, that has happened where everything's fine, and then I'll just run down to use the restroom. I'm gone like not even a minute, and come back up and refrigerator open.
Oh my God! While you're still in the house, this is going on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. My kitchen chair is now in the dining room, not at the kitchen table. It's now in the dining room.
What?
Back door to the deck open. I know it's closed. The AC is, blasting. I know I'm not at the doors. We're not moving the doors. Yeah,
it's moving chairs from the dining room into the living room.
I kid you not. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so, geez. I didn't know, like, all this other stuff was going on. I don't know what I would do. Because I always say, if it's your own home, it's a completely different... It's fine to go exploring and, I'm going to go ghost hunting at this, abandoned building, and then I go home, and then nothing's going on.
Right.
So,
I mean, just like me, that's how I used to think, too.
Right.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds so romantic and exciting. It's adventure, but when it's your own home...
Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah,
Yeah, no, not so much.
Yeah.
So the biggest break you've had from this is just shy of a year. So... Yeah,
it was a little over 9 months.
When was that?
Close to 10. I want to say maybe 2 years back.
Okay, so you had the break 2 years ago. And then, I mean, so you say, I heard you kind of mention it'll happen like 1 or 2 days in a row, and then it takes a break for a week. And then it happens again, so, I mean, that's a lot.
Very sporadic.
But still a lot. That's a lot of activity.
Yeah.
I mean, are you...
It is.
Yeah, no, if I was finding stuff like missing and then... coming up in crazy places that a dog couldn't take it or you would never put it there. Like, why would you? Are you looking for some help with this or?
I have thought about that, considered, but I really didn't know who to turn to, and I didn't know if it would escalate the situation and make it just like unbearable to be here or what. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was nervous about it. I've gotten away from the church. I don't feel like I can really reach out to like the Catholic Church and get someone here. I don't know if that would help or not. Who do you call? I'm not sure. Yeah. I would like to have someone who knows a lot more about this than myself come in and take a look and tell me what they think this could be or what's their feeling, et cetera, et cetera. And then maybe we can devise some kind of plan to, minimize this activity, if not get rid of it altogether.
Yeah.
Kind of where where my head is on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once this gets out there, and this will come out Thursday, I'm just putting the call out to everybody. Get a hold of me if you're in the area, and you already said the city, so it's okay to leave that in the recording, and you don't have to. But
yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, what was the city that you're in there, Giena?
New Carrollton.
New Carrollton. Okay, so anybody that's out there, just like I've done in the past, I will kind of do some vetting, talk to them first, and see what they've done, and I'll do some vetting. But if you guys are interested out there and think you can just go in there and see what's going on, some people are a lot more sensitive to this stuff than I am. I seem to be able to go to the most haunted places, quote unquote, in America and come out with nothing. So, but there are other people that are very sensitive. So, which you may be too, and that might be why
I think,
your mom
I
doesn't
think I
experience much of anything.
Right. Yeah, I think I am. I mean, not to the extent of Yoda, but
right.
For sure, yeah.
Right, but I do think it's a sort of another sense, if you will, something that maybe people really are born with, and you're kind of, marked in a way. If I don't know another term, that's probably a bad term for it, but yeah. So anybody out there, if you guys are really adept at this stuff, and you investigate, and you go into places that this is somebody's home, it's a sacred spot for them, and they really are just tired of the activity. We're not saying don't go in there and record some stuff. We totally understand that. That's fine. I would feel the same way. But, what Giena is looking for is put it to rest. Just put it to bed a little bit. At least tamp it down a little bit, right?
Exactly. Yes. I would appreciate that, Shannon.
Yeah, no problem. That's no problem at all. So anybody out there, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email Shannon at intothefrayradio.com. You can also go to the website, intothefrayradio.com, to the contact page. And then that way we can start the process there, because that was a lot more frequent than I was thinking. That was surprising.
I didn't want to bombard you with everything via email.
Oh, that's fine.
We would speak to one another, so I was
that's no problem. I like to find stuff out when I'm... Yeah, absolutely. No, I like to find stuff out as I'm talking to somebody, but I was just not expecting it. It's basically weekly, which is... I don't know what I would do. I really don't.
Yeah, you and I both.
Okay, guys, well, let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsor. But first, I wanted to mention that you'll hear me bring up Giena's Bigfoot encounter. And we had a nice long talk about something highly interesting that happened when she and her friends pulled off the road at one point in time, years back. So that is available for insiders if you're interested in hearing that. And of course, all of the other premium content, just go to the website, intothefrayradio.com, and click Become an Insider. And now, a word from our sponsor. Hiring is challenging, but there's one place you can go where hiring is simple, fast, and smart. A place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. That place is ZipRecruiter.com/fray. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. With results like that, it's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the highest rated hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/fray. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FRAY. ZipRecruiter.com/fray. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Yeah. So this is a very cliche question. And it's almost laughable at this point, because you hear about, everything happened, there's been something, of course it's happened on land, and every house has history, yes, but do you guys know of any, history that may contribute to the activity that you're having right now?
Do I know of any? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I did kind of look into that briefly, but no, I couldn't answer that question because I don't. I didn't come across anything. But,
yeah, that's okay. And what about the neighbors? Yeah. I mean, have you ever been out walking Yoda and the neighbor's like, oh my God, like, can't believe you live in there, whatever, just hearsay?
No, no, they've never made any comments like that. No.
Okay.
And I do, we wave and we'll speak to one another, but I've never never heard anything like that now.
See, but you know what's so funny about neighbors is, I mean, I could have the same activity you're having at my house, and my neighbor next door, actually on both sides, could be having the same activity. Would we really bring that up to each other ever? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's not something people speak about.
It could be going on. It very well could be happening, and I'm the wiser. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Because I'm not talking about it. They're not talking about it.
Right. No, because I think it was on the episode with Patrick Meekin, and he had the house in Amish country in Ohio.
Okay.
And he had a lot of activity, really bad stuff, very similar to yours. And the poor guy, I have to get him back on, but he actually moved to get away from it, like we were laughing about on the onset. And he moved into another haunted house. It's unreal. Yeah. So, yeah, but he had the situation. I know. That's, well, just like in your Bigfoot story, right? I'm like, what are the chances you guys have to take a piss right there, and then the Bigfoot is, within yards of you? It's crazy. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. But I just brought up the neighbor thing because in that same interview, he did have a neighbor come up. Or no, maybe it was the second book, and no one's heard me interview him about that yet. I forget. Sorry, guys. Anyhow, one of the houses, the neighbor did come up, and he's like, well, a guy shot himself in the basement with a shotgun, his face, blown right off in the basement. Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh,
really?
Shit. Yeah,
Okay.
That's why I always kind of ask if, because his Ohio neighborhood, he had activity, and then the neighbors had stuff going on, and there was like the Amish kind of witchcraft stuff, which is a real thing, and like, dead dogs and skulls hung on the tree. So a lot of people were having a lot of bad stuff going on. Yeah.
I'm sorry, where was this? Ohio?
Ohio, yeah. Down in Amish country.
Amish country?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I should forward you that that interview, because I think you could really relate with him, because he had a lot of stuff going on.
Awesome.
And
yeah, I appreciate it.
absolutely, no problem. Yeah, so that's why I just kind of try to touch on that stuff, because some people, like you were saying about how you listen to podcasts about Bigfoot, until somebody kind of says something, it may not spark, but once someone does, then it kind of brings it up. So
thank you, Shannon. I really appreciate that.
That's no problem. Yeah, and I mean it. I'm sure in the next couple days after this airs, I'll get people talking to me. I got somebody to go out to property in, I forget where it was. I haven't heard back. I need to contact them actually, but it was a lot of activity going on, and I was able to get a few people to go out there. Yeah, and I at least could talk to somebody before I get them in touch with you and go from there. Because if I was closer, I would come over. But yeah, absolutely, no problem. Yeah. Okay, well, cool. I know we've got the 3 out of 3 coming up, right? So we've talked Bigfoot.
We've done the 2 or 3.
Yeah, we've got the haunting, and now we've got the 3rd. And I'm not even going to say what it is. I'm just going to let you tell the story, and start by letting everybody know that this was pretty damn recent, right?
Very recent. Very, very recent. Well, like we were just talking about, our dogs and how much us as humans should listen to our dogs. It was just a few weeks back. Yoda was out on the deck. I had let him out to do his, last pee-pee right before bedtime. It was a little bit after midnight. He was out on the deck, and he's looking up at the sky. He's just got a steady stare up in the sky. I have never seen Yoda do this. Never, never, never. Hang out on the deck for sure, for long periods of time, but never actually stand there and have his attention up in the sky. And I'm like, what is he looking at? I'd seen him do it the week before, but I didn't go out to investigate why he was doing it. I was being a lazy butt. I just didn't feel like going out. I was like, come on, come in, we're going to bed. But this particular time, I couldn't ignore it. I'm like, he's obviously looking at something for a reason. Like always, let me go out and check. I went out on to the deck. I looked up to see where he's looking, and I see something. I cannot even guess how far up in the sky what the distance would be relative to us, but there was something there. It was it had very powerful lights on it. No noise, no wings, no helicopter, nothing like that. It was shaped not quite, but almost like a baby shark's tooth, a baby shark's, and the crazy lights, and it was just hovering there, just hovering, and then every few seconds, a very intense, even brighter light would come out on underside. It would come out almost like a spotlight, looking for something, but it wasn't really looking for something. Yeah, and then not too long after that, a blue light, a smaller light, but very, very blue, you couldn't miss it, shot out from it, went behind one tree in my neighbor's backyard, went behind a tree, and then went and darted then in the opposite direction behind another tree and disappeared.
Oh, what in the world?
And completely disappeared. Now, we did try and take photos. We did try to do that. My phone, this thing didn't register at all in the photos. My mom's got a much nicer phone than I have, so we used her phone to try and take pictures. You can kind of see a little something up there, but most people would say that looks like a star.
Right, it's tough. It's tough with photos.
Yeah. So that's what that was. UFO, I say, because it's an identified flying object.
Right.
What else do we call it? So, yeah, but was that the little green man? I don't know. But it was definitely something that I know I have not ever seen in the sky anywhere. And plus, it didn't seem like it should have by law. So that was missing as well.
Do you guys have any military bases near there?
Yes, we do. We have Andrews Air Force Base, and that crossed my mind. Could it be something out of there, some kind of nighttime exercise, or a new drone, some kind of drone they have, or aircraft, high-end aircraft of some type? But I've just never seen anything like this. Could it be theirs? Could be. Yeah, it could be. That's a possibility. But I just doubt it. I just, for some reason, doubt it.
Around what time did this happen? Do you know, Giena?
It was a little after midnight.
Okay.
A little after midnight.
Sorry, I don't know if you already said that. Sorry.
But that's okay. A little after midnight.
So I know you can't guess as to a distance, but do you feel like where it was that you should have been able to hear something?
Yes, and we also have a major airport that's not too far from us, and not every day, all day, but we have plenty of airplanes going over and the helicopters going over and everything else, and you can, not only can you see them, you can hear them before you see them.
Yeah.
This thing was as silent could be. If it is our military, they're not letting us know anything.
Yeah.
This is
right?
Really,
They are very secretive. Yeah. How long did you watch it for?
Until my eyes hurt.
Really? Is that there for a while?
Binoculars, everything. I was going to climb up on the roof, kid you not, but I didn't. With the binoculars and without, till my eyes were literally hurting. And it just hung there. The light would come out, and then it would go back up. It would just kind of move a little bit, take the binoculars, look at it again, and it would have these very sporadic movements, shoom, 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 and then completely still again.
What kind of movements were these? Did they look like not normal? What an aircraft should be able to do?
Yes, not normal. Not normal. It's almost impossible for anything that we are aware of to move in such a sporadic, erratic way and so quickly. Almost, okay, call me crazy, but almost like it knew I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Can you retell how it kind of exited stage left again? Can you retell that part for me?
I see the UFO. That light comes in and out, and then all of a sudden, a smaller but very bright blue light of some kind shot out from underneath it. It went directly behind my neighbor's tree, and then zoomed from right to left to the next tree, and then gone. Nothing. I even went out of my way to look for it. It was completely gone.
And it was shining this odd blue light the whole time before it zipped off?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
The hell was that? What was the blue light?
I don't know, Shannon.
Did you, and I mean, I'm not able to go into my neighbor's yard, so this is a very, open-ended question. No judgment if you didn't, or you're not able to, but were you able to go where the light hit the ground and the trees and see if anything's over there that might be different?
Yes. I was able to, and I did it. I did that because the way our houses are built with the terrain and the hills and the uneven ground, I can pretty much see everything I needed to see.
Oh.
And then it was just a matter of running out of the backyard, looking over where our driveway is for that tree, and there was nothing there, or any sign that something had been there. There was just nothing there. Yeah.
See, I love that you have this investigative mind about you.
I do.
You're on top of stuff.
I need answers.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Damn it. Yeah, thank you.
I'm just
the way I'm wired.
Yeah. The no sound thing really freaks me out in these instances because especially when we talk about the maneuvers that they're doing. I mean, if you go watch an air show, and I love going to those. I'm a total Top Gun fan, Phil Reed, When you go watch these Harriers or the Ospreys, and, those are some of the most badass things that we know of. They have Raptors now, the F-22s. But boy, I tell you what, you can hear those from miles away.
Exactly.
And they don't move like that.
That's why I said, well, that is something out of Andrews Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Man, what's going on there? Because I don't see how this can be.
Right.
I'm really, yeah. It just exceeds our technology. I mean, I know the military is doing all kinds of stuff we don't know about.
Right.
I understand that, but I just don't think they've come to that point yet. Maybe they have, but I don't think so.
Don't you wonder how maybe spot on Independence Day, the first one, not the horrible second one, how close they were when Will Smith goes underground, Area 51, and he's like, oh, we've had this thing since I can't remember if he said the 40s or the 50s, and he's like, well, does it still work? And then they take the landing gear away, and it's just hovering there, and then you're like, well, there you go. This is where we get all of our technology from, so
exactly.
Makes you wonder.
Yep. I have the same thoughts.
So the other interesting thing about your sighting, though, is that, first of all, Yoda called your attention to this particular thing, which, by the way, I don't think I've ever seen a dog actually look up into the sky and watch something. That is very interesting to me.
Yeah, I know I haven't, and certainly not my own dog, but
right.
Yeah, I can't say, if I think back, I cannot say that I have either.
I mean,
and that's why I was like, what is he looking at? What is going on here?
Well, and the fact that he did that a week before, you just didn't go out and see what the hell he's looking at.
He did. Yeah, I just happened to blow him off at that point. But the second go around, I was like, what is going on here?
So do you guys have other things that fly over your house at certain points?
Aside from just regular aircraft, the big planes, a lot of helicopters, and some privately owned smaller planes. And no, not that I've ever seen. No.
Yeah, I find that interesting that I've never seen a dog look up into the sky before. I find that highly, highly interesting. Was his hackles up? Was his old, the Ridgeback Mohawk? Oh, yes. Whoa, okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, this dog is on top of it. I'm
Yes, he is.
He is really.
He is way better than the ADT that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Just kidding, ADT. I love you. I have you in my home. But no, I mean, Yoda is really on top of stuff. So
yeah, he's an amazing dog. I love him to death. He does his best to protect me. He really does.
Yeah.
And Shannon, I do not know how long this object stayed in the sky, but by the time I was done looking at it, like I said, my eyes were hurting. I was almost developing a headache.
Right.
And I just couldn't anymore, and I had to come inside. And then, of course, I woke up not too long after, maybe an hour or two. First thing on my mind, the object's in the sky. I come running up the stairs. I go out the back door onto the deck just to see just to see, is it still there? I looked up, completely gone. Completely gone. Like, okay. So had to check one more time.
What did your mom think about that?
She thought it was highly unusual. Highly unusual. She couldn't figure it out either.
Yeah.
She could not figure it out. I just wish it had shown up in the photos. I'm really pissed about that. That you can't not decipher what it is in the photos she took. But,
yeah, I think unless you know, and this goes across everything. Bigfoot, any cryptid, Loch Ness, you see the Loch Ness pictures, they all look like shit. And you're like, that could be a log, whatever. It could be anything. UFOs, I think unless you are some kind of a sports reporter, and you're getting like telephoto lenses of like Tom Brady at the Patriots game, you go home and happen to see a Bigfoot or UFO, we're not going to get that.
That's easy access that you can use.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to mention just having the camera, you still have to have the time to get it up and hold it. It's the whole thing. It's so,
yeah. The maru of it, and by the time you do everything, it's gone.
Yeah. I just like the fact that you guys actually did take the time to watch it. I mean, obviously it was out there for a long time, and then part of you's like, I'm getting on the damn roof. Yep, I might do that. I like that. You considered it, huh?
I did. I'm like, where's the ladder? I can do it. I should do it.
All right, so here's the next question, and I'm not trying to be some. This is what Clyde calls it. He's like, I'm not going to call myself a conspiracy theorist anymore because it's so negative. I'm going to call myself a fringe analyst. I'm like, that is amazing. I love that. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to be conspiratorial or automatically tie everything together. I'm not saying that for sure at all. I'm just going to ask you, because you're the one going through all this stuff. Do you think in any way, shape, or form that what's going on in your home and now what you and Yoda and your mom have seen are connected at all?
I think there's a possibility. I wonder if it was meant to be over our home for some reason. And maybe they were over our home as well, but I didn't happen to see it while it was over our home. I caught it at the time. Oh, it's over the neighbor's house. It crossed my mind, but I don't know.
Right. Did any of your neighbors see this?
I hope not. Can I put it that way? I really hope not.
Right. No, and that would be my reaction too, because then you're like, well, that's a whole nother can of worms. I mean, how do you even begin to explain this?
I'll be in Las Vegas in a heartbeat. I can't even.
You could stay here. You and Yoda could come hang out. I'm sure he'd love the dogs and the birds. I have no doubt about it. It took a while for Gimli to get used to the birds, but now he actually lets them come up and pick on his his toenails. It's the funniest thing. He just is like, screw you, bird. I'm just going to sleep. Oh, yeah. Lets the bird walk right up to him. I'm like, this is so weird. I mean, I still watch because you never know. But what about the neighbors with this UFO experience? Do you guys, I don't know much you talk to them. Same thing with the haunting that's going on, if that's what we're going to label it. Did they see anything?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
And when we did see it, all their lights were out. They were definitely
okay.
They might have been up watching TV or something like that, but their lights were out. There wasn't anyone hanging out on the deck or in the backyard or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's funny because people tend to do that when there's something going on, because a couple of weeks ago, the power went out for a couple thousand people in this area of the valley. And within 3 minutes of the power going out, because it started at like 2 in the afternoon and it didn't come back on till like 10:30 or something, everybody just bombs ass outside, right out front. And that's when we're all talking like, is your power out? Yeah. Oh, good. I thought I forgot to pay the bill, and you're kind of like, all right, cool. We're not alone. People tend to do that.
That's what humans do. They kind of, they got, we have to cluster together and, oh, wow, look at that. What's going on? What do you think?
Right.
Yeah. That's what we do. No, I didn't see any of them out back, and like I said, the lights were off, and their house was very quiet, so I just assumed they were sleeping, and it was after midnight.
And this is a long shot, and maybe some of my MUFON or National UFO Reporting Center friends can help me out with this, but maybe, and this is another another long shot because most people, they don't talk about it like you are, and they wouldn't actually sit down in front of their computer and make a report to one of these centers. But if someone out there, knows, or maybe I can just do a cursory search and see if somebody actually did report, seeing this in your area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because obviously it's not just one night. It's obviously going to span, as far as we know, 2 weeks, because if we're going off Yoda, right? I mean, it's a dog watching the sky, which
Based
is
on
so
his
cool.
behavior,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what brought you outside.
Yeah, I again, Shannon, anything you can do, I would really, truly appreciate. Let me put it this way. I know the subject of Sasquatch very well. I probably have a master's degree in that, but when it comes to UFOs, I know some stuff, but not a lot.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
No, and I'm in the same boat as you. I think on all the things I talk about, I think UFOs are, I'm not the worst person to talk to or ask questions about it, but it's not one of my quote unquote what I would call a forte or something that I'm as passionate about.
My
maybe
skill set needs to improve.
Yes, exactly. I can't spit out dates and the names of the cases, because usually they're named after the people that it happened to, and not quite there yet. But I will definitely put the feelers out, and you just telling the story puts the feelers out. So if anybody has anything, so now I put the call out to my the in-home haunting / experience / whatever you want to call it, right? For what's going on in Giena's home, and then what is going on above her home. So if you guys have any information on that stuff, or you want to maybe consider being a part of an investigation / booting the asshole out, then get a hold of me so that we can talk, and we'll go from there. So, because I don't like what's going on in your house. It would drive me nuts. That would be horrible. I'm so sorry you're going through all that. I didn't know it was that frequent. So let's get the feelers out there and see what the cat drags in. The fishing, as I call it. So I go fishing, and some people come forward, and like John Paul, the demonologist, the theologian that I've had on, and now I can defer to him for anything that comes across my path, because I don't know how to deal with somebody that thinks they have a demon in their house, but he probably would. So I have all kinds of people that sometimes come forward when they hear something like this, and they're like, I might actually know a few things. And I go, thank you. I love you. Thank you. Because
yes, thank you.
We have to try to at least calm it down a little bit for you.
That would be a great start.
Well, Giena, I've kept you on for a long time. I appreciate you so much. You did amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Huge pat on the back to you for doing this.
I know I was nervous, and I got a little there, but no, thank you so much for calling. Thank you for just leaning and all your input and the things you're going to help me with. And I just wish I had contacted you sooner. I should have, but these are just difficult things to talk about.
Right.
Even though I understand the importance of documenting these experiences, that did override me feeling uncomfortable, or out of the just feeling uncomfortable and anxious, and what are people going to think? What are the comments going to be like? What, that whole, the bashing that goes on out there, and all the negativity. One look at Facebook and you're going to go, I'm never going to tell my story to anyone. I mean, it's terrifying. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking about it that way. Otherwise I would have reached out much sooner. But I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad we got the chance to talk tonight, and I just thank you so much. Absolutely, and I mean it. We're going to keep in contact. In fact, I'll send you an email when we get off. I'll send you that link, and an easier way to get a hold of me, actually, than through email. Yeah, this will come out Thursday, and then that way we can start fishing for people that can maybe help you out. Okay. All right, okay, Giena. Sounds good. Okay, Shannon, thank you. You're very welcome. Give Yoda a big hug for me. I will. Okay. Okay, talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, I'm so-and-so. I was given this name by my parents. I've been to such and such a college. I've done these things in my profession. I produce a little biography. Buddha says, forget it. That's not true. That's some story. That's all gone. That's all past. I want to see the real you are now. Well, nobody knows who that is. Because we don't know ourselves except through listening to our echoes and consulting our memories. But then there's a real you, and that again leads us back to this question. Who are you? That is the real you. We shall see how they play with this exam by the koans to get you to come out of your shell and find out who you really are. First there is summer, and then there is spring. as when you settle down in the train to read your newspaper and so on, you are not the same person who a little while ago left the platform. If you think you are linking your moments up in a chain. And this is what binds you to the wheel of birth and death. But when you know that every moment in which you are is the only moment, this comes into Zen. A master will say to somebody, get up and walk across the room. And he comes back and he says, where are your footprints? They've gone. So where are you? Who are you? When we are asked who we are, we usually give a kind of recitation of a history.